If you just go on Diddy Lawyer on Twitter, play the main clip that says how many calls he just got, because that's the one I want to show. Yeah, let's start off with that, and then we'll go to that specific one. Yeah, I think it's whatever the main one is. Click on one of them, see which one it is. Okay, go for it.
Real quickly, before we close here, about some specific instances, without disclosing the victim's name. You probably know that depending on the age of the victim, you can file these cases, these individual cases, under Jane Doe or John Doe.
Rob, this isn't it. I'm going to read the story. If you can do me a favor and find the one that he says they got 3,000 calls and I want you to find that one. Let me just read this here. So Diddy's list of accomplices to be revealed in a new lawsuit, okay? In a new lawsuit. So in this story, this lawyer comes out and just drops the bomb on everybody. Tony Busby revealed that a list of Sean Diddy Combs' alleged accomplices will be released in a new wave of lawsuits involving 120 victims. He promised the names will shock you. The day will come when we will name names other than Sean Combs, and there are a lot of names, he emphasized. We're going to make damn sure that we're right before we do that. The lawsuit covering incidents dating back to 1991 involving alleged of sexual abuse, many related to Combs at his infamous white parties events, allegedly involving drugs. Busby plans to file cases across several states, stating we will leave no stone unturned to find all potentially liable parties. Combs currently detained after being denied bail twice, has emphatically and categorically denied the claims, calling them false and defamatory. Even his lawyer gets up, Diddy's lawyer, and says the reason why he's got 1,000 baby oils is because, when you go to Costco and there's discounts, that's what he was doing, and people are supposed to believe
that. Money, Diddy. You got to do what you got to do.
We all do that. We all go buy 1,000 bottles of baby. Go ahead, Rob.
I got 3 in my bag right now.
Go ahead, Rob.
Our team has had at this point more than 3,285 individuals contact us.
Stop it.
With people claiming to have been victimized by Sean Combs. After vetting, we now represent 120 individuals who intend to bring civil claims in civil court against Sean Diddy Combs.
Did you hear those numbers, by the way? We had 3,000 something calls. After vetting, we now have 120 sources. So meaning,
somebody walked in the
even
room
the lawyer was
my
like,
eyes.
90% were lying, looking for a payday.
Well, that's not what he said.
Let's not dismiss
but the
that.
120 he's taking could have text messages, videos, or validating evidence so that there's really a case. If you went there and you were partying and you got drunk and something happened to you and you don't have physical evidence, you didn't have you didn't have a rape examination, then you don't have a case. You only have a terrible memory and you shouldn't have been there. And by the way, and a lot of those people are victims too, but they have nothing that they can present. The 120 that this guy goes, he's usually as they say, has the evidence stacked up to make it a compelling case. Because remember, the judge will also filter these in saying, okay, tell me about number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. And if the evidence isn't there, they get tossed, because that's what you hear the counts go down. That's how Trump, got his cases reduced to New York, where a fair-minded judge, in federal court finally said, this is a freaking mess. There's nothing here. Goodbye.
Let me tell you how I learned about Diddy. I was like, let me do some research right here. And I stumble upon this amazing panel interview on Piers Morgan with none other than our angry patriot, Vinny Oshana, doing his thing. And they're having this conversation with yesterday, I believe is what it was.
No, I did it last week.
Okay. You're that famous. I can't keep in track with you these days, whenever it was. But they said, there's a difference between a Diddy party and then a after dark Diddy party.
Yeah.
And then a after dark Diddy party freak off.
Yeah.
Because I've said it, I've been to a Diddy party, I
can't wait to see the videos.
No,
can't
listen,
wait.
in Miami, there's Star Island, there's Hibiscus Island, there's Palm Island. You get invited to these things, these parties. Dude, 300 people are in line to try to get into these parties. But there's a big difference between getting into the island, getting into the house, and then going upstairs to the freak off.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay outside.
Yeah.
So who knows what's going on upstairs in the basement with the cameras, what's going on. Vinny, what happened with all this lotion? What's going on with all of it?
Well, first of all, the fact that Pat made a great point that even Costco is like, yo, we don't sell baby oil in bulk.
We ran out.
Which gets to the point where people now were asking, by the way, that feds, whatever, let's see how they investigate it. what was actually in those bottles, because it could have been drug. Bro, you think it's just clear liquid? It could be roofie, it could be whatever.
Nobody's drinking the bottle.
No, I'm saying how do you know what the hell was in there? But my point is, so Jaguar Wright was on Piers. I'm happy that you brought it up.
Yeah.
But like, she said she was one of these sex workers. She was a dominatrix, and she said about those freak off parties that she claimed that sex workers were had hidden cameras on their persons, Adam, on their bras, on their underwear, on their stuff, and there was disturbing satanic rituals. And me and you know somebody, Adam. I'm not gonna say names from a guy from Hollywood, but according to her, she said young girls were stuffed into suitcases, Pat, and later discarded in freaking alleyways. This is how disgusting these people were. And she also implicated Jay-Z, saying that he had hundreds of victims ready to come forward, connecting him to a sinister web that ties together Diddy, Harvey Weinstein, and Jeffrey Epstein. And she claims that Diddy was a product. She said this, a product of the mogul Clive Davis and Lucien Grange, who taught him everything he knows. And Pat, we were corroborated with that story with Suge Knight. It's bad. And when you hear 9-year-olds, this is a really long clip.
This,
no, this is a short one. This is a short one.
This is them talking about the suitcases.
Who is this?
This is Jaguar Wright.
And she is who?
She's in the hip hop game. She's a freaking rapper. She was one of the sex workers.
Combatants in the freak off.
Yeah, you can play that.
The sex workers that I have worked with throughout the years and continue to work with even to this day have worn hidden cameras.
Oh, damn.
I have my own tape.
She has her
I've seen what they do. The ritualistic behaviors, the drugging. Putting girls in the suitcases. Dumping them in alleyways. It's horrifying. And it's all done under the protection of this is going to be paid off. There's another NDA. This is going to be, it's terrible.
By the way, how much credibility do you think she has?
I mean, dude, she's
a little, some, a lot, or a ton?
I want to.
What are you giving? What are you giving, PBD?
Little too much to me.
Little too much that it's almost like, you have to be very careful. You have a story to tell.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a story to tell, you get invited to a podcast to tell a story, and that thing goes viral. And then you go and do 20 podcasts of telling the same story, they go viral. Then you notice they're no longer going viral because you're saying the same thing. And then afterwards, you're like, man, I gotta make a comeback. Then you create new stories. And new stories. I had Gianni Russo on the podcast many years ago. Yeah. Some of the stories he told me, he says, one day I was in Iraq and I'm sitting there with Saddam Hussein and we're having this and I'm sitting at a store and I go to Cuba and I'm there to do some...
dating Marilyn Monroe.
Colombia, and he's telling me this, and then Pablo's people are about to kill me, and he says, wait a minute, are you the guy from Godfather? Come bring him home. We had dinner, and one time I was sitting down having a conversation with the Shah, and one time I was 14 years old. Marilyn Monroe and I were hooking up for 3 weeks. Yeah, and I said, Johnny, I swear, in the interview I said this to him because he's that entertaining. Because sometimes people are telling stories like this, you want to hear it anyway.
Yeah, let me go.
I said, if less than 10% of what you're telling me is true, you've lived a crazy life, right?
10%.
If 10%
like
of what you're telling me is true. Rob, do you have the clip? Which clip is this, by the way?
So this is... This guy's name is Jamal T. Millwood. That is...
I did not think
Jamal.
That guy was Jamal.
That's his pen name. His actual name is Chris Todd. He is the guy that claims that he released Kim Porter's book, Diddy's ex-girlfriend,
yeah, the one that
ex-wife.
was died of pneumonia.
She wrote a book, a memoir, that then died before the book was published. This guy put this book out earlier last month. Now, her kids, Kim Porter's kids, claim that he didn't have access to the book. But this guy claims that there are tapes of high-profile A-list celebrities that were having sex with Diddy and with underage kids, and those tapes are currently being shopped around Hollywood.
I did hear that, too.
If you want to play this.
Play it. Go ahead and play this.
There's a claim that Kim Porter kept copies of Diddy's alleged sex tapes as leverage. What evidence do you have to support this narrative?
The tapes.
So you actually have tapes?
I'm not going to do fully comment. Let's just say there's tapes that exist. Yeah.
Well, let's ponder around that.
There's
the investigators in the case that is now filed.
Yes.
Right. Say that they were in possession of tapes. They can actually confirm that there are tapes,
sure,
as well as baby oil, as well as all of the other things that they found.
Yeah.
And so with that, we do know from that perspective that the DA involved in the case that Diddy is now facing.
Federal government.
Yes, the DA and the federal government have tapes.
Attorney General.
And so my question is, there's a claim that Porter kept copies of, and this is in your book,
Yes.
that she kept copies of Diddy's alleged tapes as leverage, right?
He just asked the same question.
In making that, it would be assumed that you would, or the possession
Spit
of
it
those
out, guy.
tapes,
Yeah,
you've seen
come
them,
on,
you have
dude.
them, you know about them. And like I said, what evidence
You
do
just asked the same
you
question.
have to support the narrative?
Yes, there are tapes that
The
exist.
tapes.
Okay.
Yeah, now he admitted it.
Okay. By the way,
You can pause this.
I also have the victims if you want to hear the clip of this is Tony Busby, the attorney, listing the ages of some of the
Oh,
victims
yeah.
that
That's
were
the
Go ahead, Rob.
allegedly assaulted by Diddy.
Other instance, this individual who was 9 years old at the time,
Boy?
Who knows?
was
No, it says
taken
9-year-old
to
boy.
a
Oh.
audition in New York City with Bad Boy Records. Other boys were there to audition as well. All of them were trying to land a record deal. All of them were minors. This individual was sexually abused, allegedly by Sean Combs and several other people at the studio in the promise to both his parents and to him himself of getting a record deal. Another instance, another minor, told allegedly by Sean Combs that he would make him a star, but he needed to visit with him in private about it, away from his parents. Once they were in a private area, allegedly Mr. Combs made the victim perform oral sex upon him. Another incident, an individual 15 years old at the time, flown to New York City to attend a party, was drugged, and then taken into a private room, allegedly in the presence of Mr. Combs, where this female individual, minor, was raped, and then other individuals took turns raping.
Let me. Can I say one thing before? If God forbid this is true and it comes out in light in court and these people come forward and it's corroborated, Diddy better literally watch his ass the entire time he's in jail, because you guys know how those guys
You
treat.
may like it. Watch his ass. You may-
No,
You know what?
actually,
to make light of it, he probably would like it.
There's
But they're gonna kill him.
There's unusual codes that are in prison, and I've read about the horrors that were in the California system. And there was Mexican gang, also known as the South. If Ricky Aguilar is listening, he can talk all about this. He's talked about all the things that go on and how the gangs control. But there's something that happens in prison to pedophiles, and it's that the Catholic and Mexican gangs do not tolerate the pedophiles. You do not live long in prison.
Yep.
And that is an
That's
absolute
true.
fact.
so all the Diddy stuff, it's actually starting to make a lot more sense right now. You know, Bad Boy Records, they also started going by Dirty Money. You know, whether it's Diddy, whether it's Puffy, whether it's Brother Love, we're starting to see the writing on the wall was basically going on. Okay, so everyone thinks of him and Biggie and all that. All right, well, who knows what happened with that? But then as he went independent and he sort of went more the producer route than the musical act, do you remember that he started the show Making the Band?
Yeah.
It was all just young kids in New York trying to make the band. Then he started a girl group called Danity Kane. I just remembering all this because I used to listen to hip hop 20 years ago. I want to know what those girls have to say, what those young people have to say. Because everyone's talking about the Meek Mills of the world, the Justin Biebers of the world, the Ushers of the world. Okay, those are the people who quote unquote made it. What about the people that never made it?
Maybe
What
they're
kind
in,
of stories
maybe they're in the
do they
120.
have?
Yeah.
What kind of incidents do they have? What kind of things do they want to say? By the way, you know, everyone talks about Kim Porter, who I guess he was married to for a while. That's the mother of some of his children, right? And then what was the girl that he basically Cassie?
Cassie.
Unbelievable. But the girl he's been dating for the last 3 years is a girl called Young Miami, conveniently located down here in Miami.
Yeah.
I want to know what she has to say, because she's been around him more than any female in the last few years. All this stuff is going to come out. All this stuff. This guy is finished. Everything that just like that, everything you create, every record, every group, every hit, every deal, every money, every monument you've ever done, it's finished.
Yeah. Well, he's been
allegedly.
Watch this.
Good luck,
Watch this at a charity event. Look what he does with David Beckham. He offers $150,000 for this event, and you have to see what he says at the end. Go ahead, Rob.
Okay. Being that I don't spend a lot of time here and I don't really know the crowd, if you win, you get your choice of one of the other. Choice A is a weekend at my house in the Hamptons, fully staffed on the water, East Hampton, New York. Number 2 is a studio session with me in New York or London. I'll produce a record for you or your kids. Or number 3 is a night out with Diddy, Saturday night in New York. And I promise you, your ass will wake up Wednesday laying beside me.
Laying beside me?
Let's get the business started with this. I'll start with £25,000. I have 25, I have 30.
Wow.
I have
And you
40.
wake up next to me.
I have 50.
By the way, hiding in plain
60,
sight.
I have 70. 80. You're 90? Yeah, no, that's right. You just pay. You pay.
3 nights for you, Sharon. 3 nights.
3 nights. Full room and board.
Another thing is unlimited. If we become friends, you can stay for a long time. This is just a start. This is just a start to raise money for the kids. We didn't even talk about Miami. We may go from the Hamptons to Saturday, New York to Miami. Yep. You may show up a month late.
100,000?
100 right there, my man, right there.
There's Gordon Ramsay.
Mr. Wayne Rooney.
Me and you, Wayne. Me and you, baby.
Greatest soccer player in English history right there, Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, big belly today.
Yeah,
You can pause it right there.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's the best player.
This is some of the stuff that's going to be revealed, and these are nothing. These are just signs, right? Mm-hmm. But if anything leaks with celebrity names that all of a sudden comes out, it's going to break the internet.
You know what kind of conversations are happening between celebrities right now. PBD,
the highest
you know
levels.
how many conversations are going on? Name a name. Ashton Kutcher, Usher,
LeBron James.
Oh, yeah. LeBron James came out and gave the non-answer.
Yeah, he said, don't even bring up my name. I don't want to talk about it, blah, blah, blah.
I don't know if that's true or not. Can you verify that? Because Snopes said it wasn't. It didn't actually happen. It was just a, what do you call it? Don't go on Twitter. I thought it was go type in LeBron James Diddy. Yeah, I thought it was that one right there.
Answers reporters' questions.
Close that. It's another question about the freak offs. Go a little lower fact check to see what it says. False. Okay.
LeBron James said he prefers not to speak about that.
They're saying that never happened, is what they're saying. September.
Well, even if that's false,
I mean, he's hung up.
There's no question about it.
What I'm sure is very true is all these people have been around and they're all having conversations.
Oh, they're panicking.
I don't know if they're using Telegram or WhatsApp these days, but they don't want these conversations to be seen, and they're all luring up. What's this video right here, Rob?
This is LeBron at an alleged Diddy party.
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, they're boys. What do you mean? Of course. Oh, look, and this is, you know, the scary part.
Listen, just because someone's partying and having a good time, there's 0% anything wrong with that. No. It's when you start to do the shady, illegal stuff behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah. And
that's the whole thing with Diddy.
And Adam,
having a good time at a bar is not a big deal.
But imagine those people that know, Pat, because I know we want to move on. Imagine the people that know now, they're famous as hell. Now there's footage. Oh, my God, wait, you mean these people that we were having sex with had cameras and he had cameras? People are panicking. And if you're one of those people, the witnesses, their lives are at stake, bro, because you don't understand who is the top of the top. Clive, who the hell was there that doesn't want you talking?
Now they know that you know that you know that they know, and they know that they know.
Yeah.
I got a big announcement to make. The property I'm on right now, we've been working on buying this property for the last 3 years. It's one of its last kind in America. Why? It's on 11 acres. It's got 2 hangars. It's on an airport. Upgrades of $7 million made here. That's going to be the new headquarters of Valuetainment, Menek, David Consulting, the podcast. The whole 9. And what we wanted to do, we want to find a way to celebrate this as a new headquarters with inviting you
to an event on November 5th, which is election night. A lot of different things people will be talking about, business owners. What's going to happen if it goes this way? What's going to happen if it goes that way? So imagine 2,000 people being here. Let me show you around. Some of you will have a private meeting with me. That's the elite. That's going to be a few of you. Some will get a private tour of the entire office from us. There's a hangar in the back. So you come up here. Imagine there's going to be a couple major tents, 40 feet by 100 feet, where some of the people that are buying general tickets will be there. But over here inside the hangar is where the podcast will be held. This entire thing will be open like it is right now. Inside of it, myself, the PBD podcast crew, some of the super VIPs will be invited to go upstairs in a section that we have that's got a bar, a restaurant, food, kitchen. You're eating, you're watching it from all the way up there while we're doing the podcast down here in the hangar. So imagine in this room, there's 1,000 people, right? While we're going through this whole thing. Conversation, it's going to be from 6 p.m. is when it starts, all the way up to 2 o'clock in the morning. Who knows? Maybe we'll go 3, 4 o'clock in the morning because a lot of things that's going to be going on. And by the way, do you know why we're not cutting this? We're on an airport. These are planes. We have to hear because right here is the airport. And FYI, Messi plays right there at that stadium right behind us. There's 5 ticket tiers that you can purchase. Each one's got more things to offer. But even locally, there's general tickets to buy for just $75. Bring your wife, bring your husband, bring your family, bring your friends. There's one caveat after you buy the ticket. When you buy the ticket and you come on November 5th, you have to wear Future Looks Bright gear. I'm talking Future Looks Bright hat, a shirt, doesn't matter. You're gonna have to show I got some kind of Future Looks Bright gear because we want everybody here to spread the message and the energy of optimism around the world, back to their states, wherever you're going to be. So November 5th, click on the link above or below. Get registered, and if you're watching this saying, well, Pat, I like to travel private. Can I bring my private jet here? 5 of you guys will be after you buy your ticket. Then you can ask us, and that's only available to the tickets at the highest level possible to bring your jet and park it here. So having said that, get your tickets, and I cannot wait to see you November 5th, 6 p.m. at our new headquarters in Fort Lauderdale. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye, bye-bye.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.